Hello traders and welcome to another strategy video of mine. Today we're going to be talking about how to buy into an uptrend. And the two things we're going to be going over today is detecting an uptrend, and once you detect the uptrend, what to do and how to buy into it. So first we're going to look at Bitcoin on the 15-minute to see what a trading signal would look like and where you'd want to put your buy order. So first of all, if we look here, price had crashed, consolidated, then crashed again. And then at this point, we can detect an uptrend because we can see that price makes a higher low here and then a second higher low here. So by this point, we're reasonably confident the price will continue to go upward. Now, at this point, again, we want to find a spot where we can buy, knowing the price will likely go no lower. And to find that spot, usually that will be previous resistance. So there's a rule in uptrends that usually previous resistance becomes future support. And this can be seen very well throughout this uptrend. So some examples here would be this resistance point became support here. This resistance point became support here as well. And then this resistance point right here became support again here. And that also coincides decently well with this too. So basically, what you want to look for is a previous resistance point during this uptrend. And then once you see that, you want to put your buy order at that point. Now, the worst thing you really could do is buy here or buy here, because then you have price pull back against you, and you're not confident that this uptrend will continue. The best thing to do, rather, is to simply just draw horizontal lines at where you think there will likely be support. So, if we had only known this, we can make some inferences about a possible support level. We can see here that this point was resisted many times, which would mean that this would likely become a future support. We'd mark that. And we would also mark this as another future support point that we could buy if we'd missed this one. So if we go a little farther, we would see here that this point right here became the future support. So what we would do here, if we had seen this, we would likely want to put a buy order out at around 2,500, and then we'd be able to catch all of this. Now, if we had still not bought this, what we would have noticed is this top here that's also resisted here. We would just simply draw a line here. And this is if we only had access to this information, and we would just simply wait for a price pullback at this point. And we would actually get that price pullback at around 25.12 right here. You would just simply put your buy order here, and then that would very likely take you up further. Now, an important point to mention in buying into an uptrend is that what you do not want to see, and what's a sign that the uptrend may be failing, is price to go lower than the previous resistance level. So like, let's say that at this point, price had actually gone here at this previous resistance level and then gone further all the way down to, let's say, like about here at this support level. That would mean that this uptrend is likely not to continue. And then at that point, you'd probably just want to cut your losses. Now, if we continue on this uptrend, we can see that this happens multiple times. At this resistance point here, before the bears took over for a bit right here, we can see that that too became future support. And if you had simply seen this and then put a buy order once you see bullish movement around here, then you would have gotten this, and you would have gotten all the way there from about 25.31 to 25.72, which is a decent profit. And then eventually, this uptrend began to fail, and if you had not sold already, you'd probably want to sell around here. As you can see, price is not making any higher lows, and is actually making lower lows here, so there's really not much you can do. Now that's on the 15-minute, which is going to be much quicker, but the 1 hour is going to be slower, but probably more even profitable. If we isolate this uptrend here, we can learn something. So if we see this, we have an uptrend here, we have a bit of resistance here, so maybe we would have labeled this as a possible buying point. Price takes off past it, and we're waiting for this to be hit, but it actually never gets hit. So what we would do in this situation is say, once this bar was printed, that looks very bullish, is to just simply put our new resistance here. Because as we can see, this price looks to be around where the resistance level would be. And as you know it, price moves down, touches this level, and if you had put your buy order at 25.22, just where this place is, you would have caught a lot of upside to around 26.50. Now, it really is that simple. When trading these kinds of markets in a powerful uptrend, you just need to look for a previous resistance level, wait for price to look quite bullish, pull back to that resistance level, and then buy when this becomes support. Now again, if you see price go much lower than that previous resistance level, you know that this will probably not become an uptrend. And actually what you might see if that happens and price crashes down to here is price to pull back to this level again, and then that forms strong resistance, and that turns the price into a downtrend that goes much lower. You can do this on any time frame above the 15-minute, really. I wouldn't really recommend doing it now, buying into an uptrend, because how Bitcoin and Ethereum have been quite bearish recently. So I would not recommend buying it at all until it hits major lower levels. But you can still see that this does happen quite often. That when price goes up, it usually pulls back to a previous resistance point, as it did very often here. So that's going to be it for this just simple video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching.